we shall see how this comes out. But it's been a fat minute. Just pulling up out of the corona situation, trying to raise my vibration. As always, welcome my friends in friendly neighbor worlds apart, coming at you to bridge them gaps and just try to find a beautiful connection and talk about whatever it is to talk about, right? There's always something to talk about. Psych, there's always something to be silent about. But podcasts, if we're talking and connecting, I'm not going to just for 2 minutes, but this one's about just coming back into yourself. It's one of the weirdest things that happens so frequently in all of our lives. We go and we feel on a roll and we're kicking ass and taking names and we feel like unstoppable force of love and nature, right? And then some things happen that we start to neglect ourselves, neglect our self-love or whatever happens, and our energy and focuses transition to different priorities. And where our focus goes, the energy flows. So as that time builds on and things continue, we take ourselves out of ourselves, right? And a sin, in the simplest sense, is anything that takes us away from ourselves. So we forgive later on down the road, but before that, we're taking ourselves away from, misguided priorities or getting caught in the moment, in the action of something that doesn't need your energy, or staying strung up and not being able to let go on something, and it's just eating your time, right? Because that's all we got is our time. And it'll continue to elude you until you look down your road and you go, wow, I fucking just spent a month like thinking I was okay, and then some happenstance happens and you're like, damn, I was really not okay. Wish I had notice the signs and stuff like that to express, or ask questions about other people and get their feedback of my closest advisors, people in the inner circle that you can trust their opinions, right? But, you can't dwell on that. You just gotta take it and run with it as much as we can. But when you notice that and you make those realizations and you realize, like, holy fuck, I've been out and about doing things that weren't really me. Or, I've been feeling this or feeling that. I don't really need to feel that, like anxiety or anger or any of these emotions that we create for ourselves, because we are controllers of these bodies and these emotions. We don't have to be a victim to happenstance and be a victim to anything that is around us, right? We have the power to respond to anything. That is the greatest thing that we have. Right? Anything. Somebody can bitch and moan at you and you can respond to be appreciative of that because you're not in that place. Or you could be, grateful for your own peace and love that you're giving yourself so you don't become angry. Whatever it is, it's power response. So when you're coming back into yourself and you're just like feeling this understanding, like, wow, it's like peculiar because you knew what you were doing, but you still went and did all the things that took you away from that. But nonetheless, coming back to yourself, it's a beautiful thing. We do it all the time, multiple times, in a month, in a year, or whatever you want to count. I mean, I don't know how frequent it happens, but it comes down to our habits, principles, and beliefs that we follow or don't. But when you come back and you realize these things and you're starting to do things that are for you and going to grow with you and compound your love, time, and appreciation and grow your character as a whole, it's almost like a strange gratitude that you went through those periods, because every time you do go away from yourself and you come back to yourself, you're just that much stronger. You're that much deeper into yourself and your being, and it's a profound thing. And I think it's the number one way to get in touch with yourself and your soul. You gotta fail, you gotta fall down to get back up, right? But every time you fall down, you stumble in different lands, right? Every time you get up, you see different beauty. So, as above, so below. There's a duality in it, and weirdly enough, in my existence so far in this life, I realized that in my darkest times, I've been supported and felt unconditional love more than anything, but I was blinding myself to see that and feel that and be connected to it. But as soon as I resolved that within myself and accepted and respected and took responsibility of my feelings that I'm creating and actions as well, that's when it starts to, change on a dime, and you start to go, oh, fuck, I feel unfuckable. I'm an undeniable force of just love in action. But it's easier said than done. But, the number one thing I found that helps you come back to yourself and realize what's good is just writing, reflecting on that point, right? We need to read a situation, feeling, place, or thing. We need to assess it. We need to digest it. We need to just sit with it, feel it to heal it, right? After we do that, we need to make an action that's going to create a positive result that we want. And then after we create the reading, acceptance, and assessment, we take the action, and then we got to reflect it all to come back into how did this impact me? How did I learn from this experience? What am I going to do differently? Who am I because of this? This is what happened, and I've done things differently. And that experience adds up and builds, and then you build too. And we're all conquering our own worlds. That's why I like doing this, because we're all conquering our own worlds. We're all struggling simply because that's what human being is about. Struggles and simplicity, but going through it. So it's one of those things. I mean, you can't really complain. Life is life, and we just got to keep living it. So no denying that, but habits and principles, things that are for you, is really what is gonna be for you in the end. And I mean, certain times we might take back things that we've done, but like habits and structure in your own being and character is really what's going to keep you where you want to be. And documenting your behaviors that you're trying to solidify into well ingrained habits that you're just like second nature to create and do. Everything's a skill, right? So talking, you need to be more talkative, more assertive when you're an introvert. Well, this is something that you'll need to do. You'll need to start reminding yourself, speak up more, or express your thoughts and ideas more, and remind yourself that this is your goal, this is what you're doing, and that it's okay to feel uncomfortable doing it, because in the end, anything we do that's uncomfortable is going to make us grow. And document this shit. I mean, one thing that I love to do that I'm still struggling to do because I'm young, but I'm going to get it, is just documenting simple behaviors and trying to create those associations. So, just doing them every day. Like, I know I need to meditate to keep my peace and ground myself so I don't become reactive, and I don't believe I'm very good to anybody when I'm reactive. And, yoga, meditation, all this stuff is just me, and it works for me. But we got to balance our bodies, we got to balance our minds, we got to balance our souls to be the most effective individual we can for this planet. And it's going to be different for everybody, but it takes due diligence and courage to go about things in a different way to not reap the same results. And that's what happens when we take ourselves away from ourselves. We've done it all too many times, and it sometimes seems like we're in the same land, the same place we fell. And if that's the case, then we need to change some shit up when we rise back up, so it doesn't fall and back in the same place. We fall back into the same habits or the same circles of people, whatever it is. And just trust, develop that faith, right? Just got to keep persisting, and persisting is just another word for faith. So we got to persist upon our goals and dreams to create them actualities into our realities. And that's the beautiful part of it. We're all after our own dreams. We're all building. We're all creating. We're all being the best we can be. And we don't know. We want to evolve and grow and be more beautiful, more strong, more healthy, hopeful, loving, or, less despairful, less angry, whatever it is. But in the sense, we're just becoming more of what we already are. And each time we fall, we come back up to that realization that, wow, we got so much to give. Let's keep giving. So with that, I'll give you a piece. Much love, and have a great one.